We have learned how to use kinetic equation to describe the motion of an object moving horizontally like a car, as well as an object moving vertically like an object falling straight down to the ground. But what about the object that move in both of these directions? This type of motion, if it involves an object that is thrown or launched into the air, it can be referred to as projectile motion. Imagine, a cannonball is being fired at some angle from the horizontal. It will travel some distance up to the air before eventually falling back down and hitting the ground some distance away from the cannon. And we can use a parabola to represent this path of direction. Important things to understand about this kind of example is the horizontal motion and the vertical motion of the cannonball are completely independent of one another. This means we can use separate equations to discuss the motion of each direction. One equation that exclusively corresponds to the x-coordinate of the object and another that exclusively corresponds to the y-coordinate of the object. To drive this idea on, consider two marbles, one drop from a particular height and one another that roll off a surface that has the same height with the horizontal velocity. If this marble begin falling at the same time, they will strike the ground at the same instant because the vertical motion is independent of any horizontal motion. The one with horizontal velocity will cover some distance in the x direction, but it will fall down at the same rate as the one that falls straight down, so they will have identical air time. Our project is to create a model of a cannon that operates using principle of projectile motion. It is about a marble being launched into the air using the principle of projectile motion. We fired the marble at some angle from the horizontal. It will travel some distance up to the air before eventually falling back down and hitting the target. In addition, we also calculate accurate displacement and correct angle to make sure that the marble will hit the target. This model applies principle of independence of motion to solve the projectile motion problems using a correct displacement or angle. First, to create a simple model which applies the principle of projectile motion. Second, to produce a model using recycled items to create green environment. Third, explain the properties of projectile such as acceleration due to gravity, range, maximum height, and trajectory. Fourth, determine the location and velocity of a projectile at a different point in its trajectory. Fifth, apply the principle of independence of motion to solve projectile motion. The cost and material. First, use bulk, recycle. Second, marble, already have. Third, rubber band, already have. Fourth, PVC pipe, already have. Fifth, hot glue gun, already have. Sixth, balloon, 1 ringgit Malaysia. The cost to produce this. model is just as low as 1 ringgit Malaysia. This cannon was built with 3 different angles, which is 0 degree, 30 degree, and 60 degree. The purpose of this cannon was built with certain angle was to determine the correct angle to shoot down the target. The marble will follow a parabolic path. The horizontal and vertical motion are independent of each other. Marble will be put into the PVC pipe. Then, the balloon will act as a trigger that launch the marble and hit the target. Before we launch the marble, the angle will be adjusted first before we launching it. First, determine suitable angle for the object travel. Second, determine the location and velocity of a projectile at different points of its trajectory. Third, athletes can apply this principle of projectile motion to their daily training, such as futsal, volleyball, archery, and dart.